times are coming, the good times are calling us. The good times are coming, the good times are calling. It's gonna take time, but you'll be just fine. With help from your friends, you'll get up and start again. You start again. Do me a favor, drop me off in Rotherham.
Comes for more. 2 for Jensen, 2 for Rotherham. Shoots. Ravel. Vicious, but brilliant. The sweetest feeling for Rotherham United. What's got round the back? And Richard Wood has done it again. It's done. It's Georgie Kelly.
Do me a favor, drop me off in Rotherham.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to New York Talk. This is the Rotherham United podcast. Thank you all for being with us on this Sunday evening as we look back at another game, another unbeaten away game. Nobody saw this coming, this kind of run coming early this season. So a very, very good place in terms of results. Obviously, not with injuries, and in particular, Jordan Hugel's ankle. But we'll talk about all that and more over the next hour or so. Mick's back with us. How are you going, Mick?
Oh, good, mate. Thank you. Are you?
Very, very, very good. Sam's back. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, good, thank you, mate.
Good to reckon. Danny's back. How's it going, Danny?
I'm doing good, lads. Another important point on the road, it looks like.
Very important. Points make prizes and all that. YouTube users with us, as is Richard the Miller and Killif Bobs. Adam Quist says, evening all listening in the car on the way back to Burton from Rotherham. Parents still live in Rotherham. Richard the Miller's with us, as is Paula Rhodes. Says, good evening, an away point in rubbish weather. She's just thawed out. Miller 6 says, good evening, good point on the circumstances. Shame about the weather, which was atrocious. We're absolutely drenched walking to the ground from the pub. Sarah's with us, as is Andrew. Stevie Mick, Nicholas Littlewood says, evening all, could take a minute to praise the cult hero that is Jordan Hugel. We will definitely get on that. No Jordan and the Baldy Wolf are also with us as well. Loads of people with us so far. So thank you very, very much as well. Harry says, still unbeaten, haven't lost in 4 away games. I believe definitely going to be making the plans for the double Wembley bus. I agree, Harry, I'm with you. This page with us as well. Yeah, let's get excited for the double Wembley party bus. We're next round of FA Virtual Trophies next week as well, so we'll talk about that. Right, first things first, as promised on last week's episode, we have the draw for the signed LPs. Mick, am I right?
These EP. I mean, it doesn't make any difference to you, does it? You don't know what an LP is, so...
They might as well be the same thing for me. EP of Millermen 25, which Lee has essentially donated, because obviously these people who bought tickets for the Lee's gig on Saturday have been put into this prize draw, which we're going to draw right now. There's 2 to win. Am I right in saying they're both signed, Mick? I should have checked.
He's not promised to sign them, but I'm sure he will. I keep saying it, don't I? And then I've not asked him, but I'm sure he'll sign them.
Signed by Mick.
You know what signed by me.
Just to remind you all, the doors, if you're going on Saturday, the doors open at 6 p.m. There are less than 50 tickets available, so they are expecting to sell out. So if you haven't got your tickets already, do so, because it'll be a good old night. Right, we're going to get this show done because my laptop might die on me. So let's go. Can we all see that all right?
Yeah,
sort of.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, so there's lots and lots of different names. I have shuffled it. I will shuffle it a few more times as well, just for laugh. So we have 2 winners. So we're going to spin like that one, and whoever wins will win it and then get taken out. I think Lee will be in touch to get this to you. The first winner is Carl Hopwood. So if you are listening, watching, Carl, either get in touch with Lee, or I'm sure Lee will already be in touch with you probably. And we have a second winner, which is building up. Can you feel the tension, guys? Can you feel it building? Oh, that one is close. Stuart Swift is the winner for that one. I hope Lee was watching, because I've already forgot who won the first one. But we're live and recorded, so we can pick it up that way. So you are the 2 winners, you 2 people. So please do get in touch with Lee, as I mentioned. If not, I'm sure Lee, I'm almost certainly will be in touch with you. So congratulations, and remember all that money that is in relation to these is raised for hospice as well, which is obviously a pretty good cause, as we all know, is a really, really good cause. Mick, anything else you want to tell people about that gig to get them to go?
No, not really. You've nailed it, really. There's not many tickets left, very few left. So sign up, seatickets.com, search for LPMC, and you will be taken there. It's going to be a really good night, really, really good night. He's fantastic live, is Lee, and I keep saying this. Like, I feel like a bit like a broken LP. Right.
Would you like to everybody else know what the difference between an EP and an LP is? Or
An EP is usually just 4 tracks rather than a full album.
right, okay.
An EP is usually played at 45 RPM rather than 33, but not that. I mean, nothing to you whatsoever.
Not at all. So let's swiftly move on. Sam, it's another point on the road, back-to-back points, and we only didn't win the game because of an absolute stunning strike from Charlie Savage. Are you happy? As happy as you can be getting a point?
It got to about, when did they score?
75-ish?
Yeah. I thought when he got to that, I was confident we were going to win it. I thought there's no way these are going to score now. So I had my heart set on 3 points, looking at table, and of course Charlie Savage pulls out. He's never going to score a goal like that again. Put it that way. So at the time when it just finished, I thought a big good. I thought that's 2 points dropped. But now I look back at it, it's a good result and it keeps the unbeaten run going. So yeah, not too much to complain about.
No, and I think like we did last week with the Luton game, Dan, you add into the context of the injury situation. Now, it was a little bit better than it was at Luton last week. Not massively better, but it certainly was a bit better. But that makes it even more impressive that you're getting a point. And I agree with Sam. Up until when they scored, I didn't feel like they were going to score. Now, I will come on to the spell after when I thought they looked really dangerous for a period. But that's the team, the players that played deserve so much credit because they defended like lions and up until when Reading built up a bit of momentum.
Yeah, I mean, the one surprise for me in the starting 11 was Jordan Hugel, because I did a full day and night at work yesterday, so I didn't actually get a chance to see the teams when they were announced. Someone got it up on the phones and showed me, and it was like, really? He started? And it's come out since you saw how bad his ankle was, so, fair play to him for actually cracking on with that one. But no, it felt like one of those games where, like you say, similar to the Luton game, but after we got the earliest goal, which was fantastic, by the way, I'm sure we're going to talk about that in a minute. I was like, Sam, it was like, we can't lose this now, surely. We've built up too much steam over the last few results to lose that one. And even Reading fans were saying we are hard to beat now because we've shored up the defence so well, even during another injury crisis, that it's like we're difficult.
Oh, well.
So well.
Brief period of time.
Yeah, I'm back. Hello.
Who's back?
So we are hard to break down now, and that's fantastic. Other than that little spell, but no, I was clinging on to the win, if I'm being honest. But I'd take a draw given the circumstances. But yeah, imagine if we had a fully fit 11, we'd have won that easily, like the Lincoln game, and we somehow beat top of the league 3-0 easily.
Yeah, stupid. It's a stupid sport. It really is a stupid league as well. Liam Richardson said in his post-match, Mick, that we've got a way of playing, and Matt Amshaw's got a way of playing, and that's essentially kind of fair play to him. This is kind of what he's Jack Wilshere in disguise. It's poor in it because I think that I'll be honest. I think that completely takes away from the performance. What he should actually be saying is that's not really the way that Matt Amshaw wants to play, but they've adapted really, really well to what they're having to because of the circumstances. That's a completely different way of framing it. I mean, maybe he's trying to put us down a little bit because it makes him look a little bit. I don't know whether he just don't care about us anymore, which I doubt. I just think this may be something we're going to get used to this season. I just think it's an unfair reflection. I think it puts down what we're achieving now, certainly the last 2 games.
I think, first of all, you've got to take with a pinch of salt what the opposition manager says, because he's got to placate his own supporters.
Yeah,
so he's got to try and build up his own team, and usually what they do is do that by knocking the away team, knocking the opposition down. But we've got a set of managers who are a lot of them are quite young. Liam Richardson's not a massively experienced manager. He's a youngish manager. Jack Wilshere obviously is a very young manager. I thought, look, when he was stood on touchline last week, all he needed was a backpack on, and it looked like he'd just come out of school, didn't he? They've just got to try and make themselves look better, haven't they? We have got a way of playing, and it's not getting beat. If you want to take that as a bad thing, then so be it. You didn't beat us. Reading have got a way of playing, as have Luton, and it's completely ineffective. So whatever, you can dress it up any way you want. I don't take a lot of stall by what any of these managers say, because, like I said, they're just trying to make themselves look good in front of their own supporters, aren't they? And they're not. Most of them are not bright enough to do that without pulling the opposition down.
Yeah. Other than Steve Evans, it's very rare our managers have ever pulled the opposition down. Very, very rare. It always seems to be us that are on the receiving end of these things. I don't really get it. But anyway. Tom Casey, we didn't exactly play flashy football when he was our manager. Harris is surprised at that from Liam, considering he's an honest guy. Mark Gamble says he has to defend his own team performance, really.
Yeah, but you can do that without pulling the opposition down, and that's why I say, that's why I make the slightly tongue-in-cheek comment about not being that bright, because it can be done. You just need to be a little bit more creative, if you like. Or what you could do, it's a radical idea. This, you could actually be honest. But anyway, that's another.
Yeah. Crazy thoughts from you.
Apologise.
Go back to the start of the game, Sam. I said on the pre-match show that it was apparently a 50-50 whether Jordan Hugo was going to play, which meant Jordan Hugo was going to play because of the type of guy that he is. And it played out almost exactly as I thought it would. He's going to play for 45 minutes, run around a bit, make a nuisance of himself, and then probably have to come off at half-time and Martha came on. It kind of exactly to plan, exactly how I imagined it was going to happen. But that doesn't take anything away from the fact that it's an incredible effort from a man who just wants to go and play football. And to be fair, you wouldn't have known he were injured the way he played. He just played like Jordan Hugo plays, and that's the biggest credit you can afford to him, really.
He's just a legend, isn't he? I think I've said on this before, he's always made himself available, and even when he's looking like he's injured, for the first time we've probably had him, he still plays anyway, regardless. He looked probably more mobile than he has done all season somehow, which I don't know how, with his ankle looking like that. Because there was a better press going on as well at some points.
Yeah, well.
And some flicks and stuff that he was doing, I think he caught Benson off guard where flicked it out at wing, and obviously Benson couldn't get hold of it because I don't think you were expecting it. But it's just a professional, isn't he? And I'm back in my prediction my starter predictions for the player of the season already. He should win it.
Okay. Fair enough. Mark Gambles says painkillers helps. It was his 117th appearance for Rotherham by my calculations, Danny. And it was one he's played better than that. He's played loads better than that before. But it's probably the performance that will endear him most to Rotherham fans whenever his time comes to an end. Because he's literally putting his body on the line. He's literally playing through the pain to represent the shirt pretty well, actually. He's a credit to himself and a credit to the club at the minute.
Oh, 100%. I know we've had grievances with Jordan Hugo in the past to do with his more finesse in front of goal, shall we say. But in terms of being a team player, is everything that managers dream of with a footballer. You want me to play centre half, Gaffer? Yeah, I'll go and do that for a bit. I've had my ankle swell up like a watermelon. Oh, I'll play this week, Gaffer. You're all right, don't matter. And I think that is one of the things where, like Sam was saying, he's on the right path now to becoming a Rotherham United legend, which I never thought I'd say after his first season with us. But more in the sense of his work rate and his effectively never say die attitude. And his channel, because that's our attitude as a football club: never say die, never write Rotherham off, to use the quote from the playoff final in 2014. Jordan Hughel's now embodied that. Never say die. You need me to play, I'll go and play. He'd play with one leg at this point. He'd still turn out for us somehow. And yeah, he's everything you want in an old-fashioned centre forwards. You know, he puts his head where it hurts and sometimes his ankle, and he turns out and puts in a shift. So fair play to him. I have the utmost respect for him now. And if anyone wants him, we're bringing him back that 15 million price tag.
Yeah. Tom Case says he's not scoring, but will always play well when he plays well. Jordan Paul Rose says Jordan's like Captain Scarlet. He's just indestructible. Tom Case says he must be a nightmare for defenders. Harry saying it's worthy of a new deal. Jim Wilkins saying he's loving the appearances bonus. Somebody else out there might know, but I don't think he's missed a game through injury yet. Officially, you know, he missed a lot of games through Evans last year for probably other reasons. But I think his injury record is genuinely ridiculous for the football club at the minute, Mick. And I don't know what more we can say about him, to be honest with you. Look, it wasn't his best game for the club. It was never going to be his best game for the club because he just physically can't do much more than he actually did. But he really, really did help the team. You know, we don't score that goal, which we'll come on to in a minute, without a central number 9 being on the pitch to get us further pitch. So just his sheer presence was a massive impact for us yesterday.
There seems to be a bit of a process with certain players that when they come to this football club, I don't know whether it's other football clubs as well, you know, but there are certain players come with a reputation for being a great defender, a great goalkeeper, a great striker, whatever. And Jordan Hughel came with that pedigree, without a doubt. And for a period of time, they're quite well liked, and then their form drops off, and because of the reputation, they become the butt of jokes and insults and everything else. And then one of two things happens: they either leave under a cloud and are booed every time they come, or they stay and they work hard and they become a bit of a club legend. A la Tom Eaves. Tom Eaves did exactly the same thing. You know, he came with a good reputation. He was a goal scorer. He got criticised and criticised and criticised to the point where he went complete full circle. And all of a sudden, he was like, he's not a club legend, don't get me wrong, but everybody were behind him. You know, everybody were behind him. Jordan Hugel's gone through the same process. You know, and I think the point that's been made by both Sam and Danny, and possibly you as well, I can't remember, his work rate, his commitment, and his professionalism are second to none. You know, he will turn out whatever the weather, whatever the condition he's in, he'll do it. Imagine as a manager having that kind of personality around your young team and what they can benefit from, how they can benefit from that. I am massively, massively impressed with him. And I know people will still be critical of him. He's not scoring goals, I accept. But he is still impacting games, more so now probably than he has done for a long time. And I think it seems to me to be a bit of a confidence player. And I think you know, the impact of having been taken off against Barnsley at half time and then was missing from the squad for weeks and weeks will have done him absolutely no good whatsoever, because it appears to me to be the kind of player who needs a bit of nurturing. And Matt Hamshaw is going to do that. And he's paying him back. He's absolutely paying him back. 120 appearances for his football club. That's a lot out of a player's career. You know, it's a significant part of his career. And he's just, I love him to bits. I genuinely do. I think he's fantastic, and I think he's good for this football club as it stands at the moment. He could score more goals. Yeah, he could stop falling over every now and again. I accept all those criticisms of him, and most of them are justified. But the impact it's going to have and is having on this squad, both on and off the pitch, I don't think we can underestimate. So I wouldn't hesitate to keep him till the end of his career, as far as I'm concerned. Not on the same wages, obviously. But yeah, I love him to bits.
Yeah, and I think that's quite a turnaround, Sam, because I think if you did a straw poll of every Rotherham fan, I think the majority, and I might be wrong, but I think the majority would say, yeah, we'll keep him next year. And I'm in mixed camp of just let him see out his career. As long as the finances aren't stupid, just let him see out his career at football club. And from a guy last year who us on the podcast were very, very critical of him, and some other people were even more critical of him and harsher than we were, what a turnaround that is, because most Rotherham fans would have driven him to whatever club he wanted to go to at times last year. And now we want to see him stay.
But that's it. And Mick's just picked up on a good point in terms of having a young squad. It says it all. One, I think he took a pay cut, didn't he, anyway, when we...
Automatic pay cut, yeah.
Yeah, when we dropped down. So we stayed through that. The other thing is, it's weird how they got rid of Clark Harris, paid him off, and not Jordan Hugel out of the two. Especially with Jordan Hugel being older, slightly older, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot better.
I'm sure definitely saw something in him, like in terms of impact long term, in terms of the younger players. So that shows a lot. The first time I had my little one as a mascot, and a lot of players, when we were at Championship and we were getting relegated that season, and like there were players like Cafu and that lot who just hanging out away from any mascots coming. And Jordan Hugel was the first one sat in front of the door waiting for the mascots to come and making a big deal for him. And it just shows you he's a good human being as well. So maybe he does fit into the, I'm sure, long-term plans.
Yeah.
But didn't Paul Warren want him at one point as well? Did someone say?
I don't know.
I'm sure someone said it. It might have been John when he'd been on it before or something. I'm sure Paul Warren were eyeing him up at one point as well.
Taylor signed him in a January window, didn't he?
Yes, for free. It was a free transfer.
Really?
Yeah. Harry says, didn't have a relegation clause which allowed him to leave for cheap, and he chose not to. Yeah, exactly. He chose to be here. I think if you believe the rumours, he had multiple chances to leave this club, and he's still here. Look, I've spoken about this before, but you speak to people that have played with him. When we spoke to Lee Pelty, I can't remember if he said it on the podcast or after we finished speaking with him, but he talked about how much of a great guy Jordan Hugel is. The players like him, and to have that, I mentioned, to have that kind of player in your young squad could be invaluable, and it's proving to be invaluable at the minute as well. A standard setter. We've been missing a standard setter for years, including Jordan Hugel's squads as well, to be fair, in the last 2 or 3 years. We're missing a standard setter. Jordan Hugel is now the standard setter in terms of effort, playing through everything else that's come through at the minute. So at the minute, we can't speak high enough of him. Next week, things might change. Football's fickle, isn't it? You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But Danny, we started really, really well, which culminates in a goal, which is just another fantastic goal. It reminded me a bit of the Bradford one, the one-touch passing. It was very different finish in the end. But it's one touch, neat, tidy, Denzel Hall in the middle of it again. It's just a brilliant football goal. It's as good as Reading's, but in a very two very different goals, but both brilliant. And we'll obviously start with ours.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, a lot of people say we don't play pretty football, but that goal, it is. If you need to have one peak of pretty football as a football club, a goal like that. Just because it's the little deft flick from Hall and then it's played through onto himself, plays it across, Hugel dummies it, and then Benson just hits it pinpoint, but he just cushions it gently into the goal, and it's one of them goals where you can watch it over and over again and still be impressed by it. Because again, I watched it on my break at work, and it's like I need to show people this. I actually went round all regulars in the pub and showed people the goal, because it's just a lovely goal to watch, and it also sums us up as a football club. Like, we defend very, very, very ruggedly and just keep people out. When we need to go forward and find a goal or just edge yourselves in front, we do it so attractively, and that is where I think that's one reason where we are right now. You know, we're hard to score against, but we can create a goal so easily just with quality and things that we do on the training ground and players having the confidence to try stuff. You know, at the start of the season, when Hall was playing, he wasn't out injured for that period. He wouldn't have tried something like that. But now that we have the confidence, it's like, oh, I know he's behind me because I trust that he's behind me. So I'll do that little flake and I know to run onto it. And there you go. We create that opportunity. And that's the one reason why it's a shame Reading, well, obviously points-wise as well, but it's a shame that Reading scored. Because imagine if that goal was a match winner. It would have been fantastic. But yeah, that's what we are capable of going forwards. And long may it continue, even though there's, 18 players out injured or something at the minute. We still create goals like that, and that's a statement to the league, I think.
Yeah. Tom Caster must be the most clinical team in the league. Feels like we score from every shot on target. Mick, and this is why I kind of mentioned what Liam Richardson said earlier, what Jack Wilshere said earlier, that if that's a certain way of playing, sign me up every day of the week. Because again, you won't, from a team perspective, you won't find many better goals than that. I think Ronnie said it. Radio Shifter put the tweet at half time from a Ronnie comment saying you won't find a better goal than that today in the Football League. And obviously, Charlie scores a very, very different goal. But as a team goal, it's got to be right up there. It's neat, it's tidy, it's quick, it's one touch, it's clever. It took a deflection, fine. But with the build-up plays, even Danny mentions, I didn't even clock Jordan Hugill. Jordan Hugill taking a defender away to get Benson that space. It's just a fantastic goal.
It is. I can't praise him highly enough. I think I said it on the post match yesterday. The worst part of that was the actual finish, because it took the deflection. And maybe, arguably, probably weren't going in if it hadn't taken that deflection. But the keeper might have got to it. But the build up was fantastic, and we've done that before. We've done that a few times, this season. So yeah, we've got a way of playing, and that's it. If you don't like it, then that's your problem. Because, like you said, I'll watch it all day, every day of every week. It's fantastic, and I want to see more of it. And I'm sure once we get some players back from injury, then we may well see more attacking football away from home. But at the moment, we've got a job to do, and that's not to lose when we're away, and then at home we can try a little bit to be a little bit more attacking. And if we're going to see stuff like that every week or even every other week, like you said, sign me up. I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's really good, Sam. And this is maybe the one thing that we have to be patient for, because those kind of flicks and movements, you can't just do that from day one. Spencer's got to understand what Denzel Hall does, and Hugill's got to understand that Denzel Hall wants to pull it back and where Benson is, and everything else that comes along with it. That's the part that takes time for players to kind of get on a similar wavelength as each other. Yeah, they had the solid stuff and defensive side of the game. Yeah, fine. But that's what we have to be patient for. And every goal we score at a minute seems to be just a good goal. We don't score tap-ins at the minute. It's really weird. Yeah,
vast majority of goals now are good team goals. And like you said, it was similar to the Bradford one. Denzel Hall being the factor in both of them. And it will probably back of Reading's minds, thinking Denzel Hall could probably hit this, probably second time he got hold of it, and he probably would have scored anyway. So we didn't even have to do all that. But we did to throw, and we probably threw them off, and we still scored. We moved the ball so well. When we did play it on the floor yesterday, we moved it so well. I mean, you can get up the pitch so fast. Probably better than most teams in division. But we do fall into the trap sometimes of hoofing it up when we could be playing it about, because we have got probably the best midfield in league. And it just shows you right there, when we play the ball, we could score past any team in division easily.
Yeah.
Clip that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's loads more to talk about now, but let's just have a Denzel Hall loving, because I just love the man. He is such a good player, and it's weird to kind of fall in love with a player in that position, because right wing backs tend to be a boring breed. To be honest with you, they just do a bit of a job. Chio's the exception to that rule, to be honest. But certainly at League One level, it tends to be a pretty boring position. They just do the job. They're up and down. Jobs are good. And Denzel Hall is just the opposite to that. He's just everything that I wanted in a player. And look, he might not be with us for too much longer, but at the minute, he is. When something good happens from an attacking sense, Denzel Hall is probably somewhere close to being involved in it.
Yeah, if not scoring himself at times as well. But no, I completely agree. I mean, the last prominent wing back, and he was more of a winger anyway, was Chio, like you said. But with Hall, he's kind of the best of both worlds. Like, he does get back and defend, but he's got Rafferty behind him who knows that position like back of his hand anyway. But going forwards, again, confidence-wise, it's showing so well now. And we've not really had a player in recent memory to do little flicks and stuff like that with Hall, but I suppose that's where football is now. They all want to try and be that sort of player, but he does it so well. I'm so surprised. A, he's our player in the first place, and B, he is a contracted player for us as well, because he comes across as one of those players that, I've got him on loan, and his parent club will look at him and go, he's doing really well in League One, we'll bump him to the Championship in January. No, he's ours, tough, you're going to have to pay for him if you want him. And I think, like I said, he will go on to bigger and better things. You know, part and parcel of doing well at Rotherham United, you'll go on to do bigger and better things. But for us to just enjoy him now and enjoy those flicks and the runs that he makes and the goals that he scores, it's just great to watch. You know, after the miserable few seasons we've had recently, to have just a player like Denzel Hall is fantastic, but to put him in a team that's doing well with an organised midfield next to him, all right, we could have fit centre-halves and centre-forwards, but that's by the by. And it's just great. Our midfield five, like Mick and Sam have alluded to earlier, is probably the best in the league at the minute, if you count the win-backs. In terms of form at the minute, I'll put an asterisk on that. In terms of form at the minute, we've got the best midfield five in the league. And long may it continue, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to say something controversial. We're going to do a Twitter and say something really controversial, clip it and put it up. But Denzel Hall is probably the best right wing back we've ever had, because Chio defensively wasn't great, but attacking it was very, very good. Who else has there been as a right wing back? A defensive attacking. Talk to me. For me, Denzel Hall is not one of the greats because he hasn't played for long enough. But I don't think we've ever had a better right wing back than Denzel Hall.
It's a small pool, isn't it? Because you're going to start upsetting the 80-81 fans from we start talking about Jerry Forrest. But Jerry Forrest was a right back. He wasn't a right wing back.
There you go. Correct.
So yeah, we've not had many. But yeah, he has potential to be the best we've ever seen in that position. He certainly has that potential, without a doubt. So yeah, I love him to bits. To bits.
It's criminal that Dexter Lembakisi gets picked for Jamaica over him, by the way. No wonder Steve McLaren, who's just left.
Yeah.
No wonder
not picking Denzel Hall.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The Jamaican FA said to him, look, you've not picked this lad that's at Rotherham, you're going to have to go. It's not nothing to do with not qualifying automatically for World Cup because you've not picked this lad. That's why you're going.
Yeah. Like I said, right wing back's a relatively recent position in Rotherham's history, but he's the best. He is the best. Tom Case, I'll be devastated when he leaves, even if we're selling for £5 million. Yeah. He's too good for Rotherham United. He's too good for League One. I've started watching him defensively as well, a bit more after last week. And he still just never gets beaten. Whenever he's in a one-on-one, he just wins the ball all the time. He might concede a corner, but that's fine. Who cares? He's just such a good defender. Such a good defender. Harry says, with Hall, I think we can put him in the goal category of not speaking about it until after January. I'd like to leave the season of Hall before he eventually leaves. Matt Miller says, bang on, Mick. Jerry Forrest, yes, a fullback, but at times played like a modern-day wing-back. As good as Hall appears to be, not in the same league as Forrest.
Not yet.
As good as
not yet. But what I would say, Mike, is that given the different levels of fitness and skill levels of players nowadays to what it was back then, I think this lad has potential to be right up there. He has potential to play Premier League football at some point, given his age and his ability. It's just about his development now, isn't it? And to be fair to him, he's in the right place to develop.
Playing every week, playing every single week. What more do you want? there are controversial incidents to cover, Sam. Let's cover the first one in the first half, which is the Hamish Douglas handball, which anybody that even didn't see the game will have seen the clip on social media. Without any kind of back bump to it, Sam, what is your view on the incident?
Not a penalty.
Okay.
I'm sure it bounced off his foot or Spencer's foot onto his hand. So it's not he stuck his arm out and decided to play basketball with it. I bounced off someone else first at close contact. I thought the pitch was wet because it raining, but I think it was Liam Richardson's tears after it weren't given. Why the pitch was so waterlogged.
Very good.
Because his arms were up in air, he were crying to the fourth official. Every 2 seconds, they're crowding him and ball every time. I don't think he even touched their hand half at the time. They were crying for something.
Yeah, I agree. I said this on Instant Reaction. I thought ref were really, really good yesterday. Now we can debate this penalty, and I'll give you a different perspective in a minute. But I think referee in general was fantastic yesterday. Generally, I thought it was really, really good. Some cases they include the handball in the highlights for some reason, which they never do. Paul Rose is spot on. Sam, Andrew Ballard says on the Denzel Hall, James Tavernier weren't so bad.
Was he more an out-and-out right back than a wing back, though?
No, I would say Tav's a right wing back.
Yeah, it was.
Denzel Hall was much better defensively than Tav ever was.
Yeah, he lost some more after, didn't he?
Yeah.
He took off better than when he was wheels, didn't he?
Yeah, I agree. Anyway, back to the penalty incident, Danny. In real time, I think I literally shouted on my goal, that's a penalty, because it just looked a penalty. If I'm in the stand at Reading or where they watch it on the telly, I'm screaming penalty instantly. But Sam's absolutely right. It's come off Spence, and I think it's come off Douglas's leg onto Douglas's arm. And the rule is nowadays, essentially, it comes off your body onto your arm. It's not handball, basically. Rules change every week, as Mick mentions. But I think by the letter of the law, I think it's probably the right decision.
No, I agree. I mean, if it's in the Premier League and they overanalyse it with VAR for 10 minutes, they'd probably give the penalty. But in the heat of the moment thing, the referee's got that absolutely spot on. And we've done a Liam Richardson. We've cried about referees on here being absolutely onking at times. So it's nice to have a decision that could have been a very serious one against us go our way. But no, I completely agree with Sam. It's come off someone's his teammate's body part and his own onto his arm, well, his hand really, but his arm's not in an unnatural position. It's still tucked into his body, and he's changed direction and he's hit his hand. So even you've got 3 strikes and out for it not being a penalty. I also agree that if we are on the receiving end of that, I'd be calling for a penalty every day of the week. But by the letter of the law, it's not. And the referee got it spot on as well. So happy days.
In old money, I think it's probably a penalty, to be honest.
Yeah.
Matt Miller says that wasn't controversial. He says stonewall penalty. Didn't bounce off any of his foot. Arm outside the body, controlled it. Ref didn't see it. It definitely came off Keane Spence. Whether it definitely come off somebody's foot. Balls don't bounce like that. It spun back on him. Go on, Mick.
I'm 100% behind what Mike said there. Assuming that the natural position thing is still a thing this week, because I'm not sure. His arm was at 90 degrees to his body. His arm was out. It wasn't within the confines of his body or whatever, however they used to describe it or still describe it. Nobody really knows whether it's current or not. Outside the body, as Mike's put, and he did get control of the ball as well, So I would want it. I think we got away with one there, personally, having watched it back. I'm not convinced it bounced off anybody, personally. Again, I've watched it a couple of times, but either way, I don't really. The referee didn't see it, and because the referee would have been side on to Hamish Douglas, so I don't blame the referee for not giving it, because I don't think he could see it because of his position. But the arm was outside the body, and I don't think it came off anything. But like I said, I don't know what the rules are anymore, so they may have changed.
I haven't got the loop, but I'm absolutely certain it bounced off somebody's foot. The way it bounced up wasn't normal, but the ball can't spin up like that.
Yeah,
It came off somebody's foot, definitely. But that I don't really know whether that's enough, to be honest with you.
No.
If it came off Douglas's thigh onto his arm, then it's definitely not a penalty.
Different again, isn't it? Or is that still applicable?
No, because it bounces off your own body onto something else. So I don't know why. I don't know wording, but if that happened, that's definitely not a penalty. But
Just have a quick look at the replay. It looks like it comes off Spencer's thigh, actually.
I absolutely don't know the rules. Because it comes off Douglas onto his own arm, I know that's not a penalty. I know because it comes off your body to arm, that's definitely not a penalty. If it comes off somebody else onto your arm, he's really close. The proximity is really, really close, isn't it? So you can't expect him to move his arm out of the way because he hasn't got time to move his arm out of the way because of the way the ball's bounced up. Let's call it 50-50. Let's just, I think as Rotherham fans, if we'd have given a penalty, I don't think we'd have been complaining too much.
No.
But at the same time, I can understand why he didn't give it and why I choose to be praising.
Well, he didn't see it. That's why he didn't give it.
Lionel's got to see it, though, hasn't he?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we obviously can't see it. If it's normal kind of linesmen, they were still on halfway line, so they wouldn't have seen it.
True. We then half time comes and goes. Sam, not really many incidents to be honest with him. Hugo comes off and Martha comes on. It didn't work for me. We'll talk about his run through in a minute, which is again another semi-controversial incident. But Martha up top on his own. I don't know whether the flight and the celebrations took it out of him, but he just didn't look his normal self yesterday. And up top on his own against some big, massive defenders we had to do it, but it just wasn't. I wouldn't like to see it again. Let's put it that way. Yeah,
I said at the time, I feel like you could tell the difference when Hugo come off in terms of there were no point to go to. And it doesn't help. I said this earlier. Dawson just hoofs it long every time. And Martha is not the player you want to hoof it up to, bless him. Anybody else but him. And they were just having they were having a field day with it in terms of clearing it up. That was his opportunity, though. That's what you needed to do in terms of when he was through. That's what I would need to play. If you're going to have him up front covering, you need to put it down channels or something for him to run onto at least. But I didn't see. I know what you're going to go on to. But I didn't see him pull his arm back at the time. Okay. I thought he just kind of fluffed his lines a bit in terms of I thought he should have shot earlier on, but I didn't see the pull back. But yeah.
We'll come on to it. He got caught offside. If he could time his runs a bit better, which might come with time, he'd have been in once or twice more. He just couldn't quite time his run. Yeah. Onto the Reading goal. Charlie Savage, Robbie Savage's kid, with his weaker foot apparently, Danny, which actually makes it even more impressive, to be honest. Anything we can criticise? I mean, the Reading fans are jokingly saying it was a Tom Holmes assist because he cleared it, which is odd. I just think it's odd behaviour, to be honest with you. But anything you can criticise Rotherham? Hampshire wasn't happy about an offside decision, which I'm not going to go into because it happened too far away from the goal for me. But anything else you want to criticise from Rotherham, or you just say, well done, move on?
There's a slight argument for closing him down a bit quicker, but I don't want to take anything away from the Reading player. I mean, it's an absolutely fantastic strike. I refuse to believe that's his weaker foot. He's scored it far too well to score. And like Sam said earlier, it's probably the best goal he'll score in his career. It's the best goal he's scored in Robbie Savage's career, and it's his son. So I can't take anything away from it. I mean, Reading fans can say it's a Thomas Holmes assist, but no, those sort of goals don't warrant an assist from any player, opposition or on your team. It's just a brilliant goal, and it's nestled so well in the top corner that I don't think Dawson's saving it, even if it were about 9 foot tall. Charlie Savage, fair play. It's an absolutely cracking strike, and if we had to draw, at least it were a goal that good and not a absolutely honking defensive mistake. So from me, fair play, well done.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's a perfect strike. It's just the absolute perfect. Is it on the up? It's rising. If Dawson knew where it was going, I still don't think he had a chance of stopping that. It was just perfect.
No, I think I've said on post-match, the only way he's stopping that is if he stood on that post before he actually makes the strike. So, yeah, it's a great goal. Great goal. Great finish. Going to be living off that for a few years, isn't he? As will Robbie Savage, I'm sure.
I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure.
He had threatened it earlier on as well, hadn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did.
Yeah.
So. At least it wasn't Lewis Wing. You know what I mean? That's the positive. That was
rubbish, weren't he?
Oh, it's garbage, isn't it?
He was rubbish yesterday.
Look, he's obviously a good player, but not sure. The only criticism of the entire game for me, Sam, comes from that spell after the goal for Reading. And it may be harsh to criticise, to be honest with you, because they just took control of the game. And I honestly felt like it was the first time in this 10-game run or whatever it's been that I thought we were going to lose that game. They just felt like they had momentum. The crowd got up. I don't know whether that was because the fireworks were coming after the game or whether the football was really. I just don't know what but they really did take control of the game, and we really did become under a bit. Dawson wasn't like bad, but we did become under a sustained pressure for the first time in game.
Yeah, I was a bit concerned at first, but for the about 10, 15 minutes after, they were kind of turning the screw. They made some changes. They brought like Kamara on and stuff like that, and they were pushing and they were playing different than what they were, because all the way through the match they were passing around their defence. They weren't confident on that ball. They looked so shaky, and then all of a sudden they stopped doing that, and then they must have realised, and they were putting us under some pressure. But credit to us, we have defended across. I can't remember, apart from that Wildy, when was the last time we conceded?
Look at scores, aren't you, mate? Who researched? They were just here to chat crap, mate.
Let's keep it league football as well. Let's not mention the Swindon game.
No, it does seem a while since we last conceded like an actual goal.
Yeah. Hang on, we conceded the last goal in the league.
Burton, weren't it?
Must be Burton, yeah. Well, the Burton's not on my list because it puts it in date order. But yeah, Burton. Where we conceded 2 goals. Other than that, the last goal other than Burton in the league, according to this list, is Northampton.
Wow.
So Burton, Northampton, the last 2 games we conceded in the league, which is incredible.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I know they were putting us under pressure, but we were clean up, like you said, Hall on that side. They weren't beating it because they were trying to go down wings a lot. And Denzel had that covered on one side. And I think Reece James and Powell are starting to work well together as well. Because Powell is struggling defensively a little bit, but Reece James is there as a backup anyway. So yeah, but as they were pushing, I think if the game would have played another 5-10 minutes, we might have got the next goal, because they were pushing that hard. They were leaving themselves wide open. Hence why Martha broke out.
Yes. Go on to that. Mick, did you have something to say then?
Yeah, I was going to say what's more impressive about that stat that you've given there is that the vast majority of those games there hasn't been a single centre half playing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So and when you look at the injury list and the quality of the centre halves that we've got or out injured, then you know it makes it massively impressive. So yeah. Just saying.
And I bet in all of those we didn't win any of the Russ Martin sponsored possession points either, did we? So
well, you know. Sponsored by Just for Men.
Yeah. Just talking about defensive, because like we consider the goals in the FA Cup, Danny, but I don't want to do a stroke broad and say that things don't count. But I don't think that game counts really because of all the injury issues we've had. The Burton game obviously counts, and there was some sloppiness in that game. But the defensive solidity, whatever we do this season, which won't be relegation, it's obviously going to be based on the fact that we don't concede many goals and we're horrible to play against.
No, I agree. I agree completely. Like I said, don't mention the Swindon game because that was like accumulation of every sort of error we could make and did. But no, I think one of the reasons for me anyway, the reason why we're so defensively solid is that we've got 3 people there who work for it. You know, we know Rafferty's a grafter and he's a good leader after we spoke to him on here. And the one person we all need to highlight and I think he now owns the title of a senior centre half. He's not a junior centre half now. I think he is a full senior centre half. He's Hamish Douglas because he's been unreal. He's been absolutely unreal as the old-fashioned centre half, just that one in the middle. And fair play to the lad. I cannot fault anything he's done other than the couple of mistakes he made early doors, but he's looked at those and gone, "Right, I'm not going to do those anymore." And barring a dubious handball, he's been basically faultless as a centre half. And to say he's what, 2021 around there, I don't know what the plan is now that Thomas Holmes is back, because I don't think you could unroot Douglas from there now, because he's so in form. Unless he has a stretch of 2 or 3 games where he keeps making mistake after mistake, I don't think he's leaving the starting 11. And I think that's why we've been so good defensively, because when called upon, the young lad stepped up, and he stepped up so massively that it's a rock solid back line. And like you said, we've not conceded since Burton, and I think that's when he was just making his steps into the starting 11 as well.
Yeah.
So I think that is one of the big reasons, and I think the back line as a whole is so cohesively well lubricated back there that's why we're so hard to break down, because they throw themselves at the ball, but they're also calm and composed at the same time. It's a recipe for success.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm going to go against something that maybe slightly out of kilt with everybody else, that you can't wait for Douglas to make a mistake, because he's going to make a mistake. He's going to make a big mistake.
No, I get that, yeah.
When Thomas Holmes is back, you have to play Thomas Holmes ahead of Hamish Douglas. Now, that shouldn't be the end of Hamish Douglas, because he's a brilliant. I think he's got the ability to be a brilliant player. But if you wait for him to make his mistake to drop him, that could absolutely kill him. It could absolutely shatter his confidence to a point where I'm sure kind of referenced this 2 or 3 weeks ago about when young players come through, they might play well for 5 or 6 games, but then the kind of adrenaline almost wears off, and then you do make a mistake, and then it can be difficult to come back from it. And I think Matham's the right man to deal with this, to be honest with you. But I just think that's a dangerous game to play with somebody so young, and out of position as well, which doesn't help.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Andrew Barr says, for me, Dan, Douglas is our number 1 centre half now. He says that as well. Tom Kay says Rafi and James have done a great job of guiding Douglas. Rob Dixon says makes no difference anyway, because Holmes will be injured in 2 games and he'll be back anyway. There you go. It's time for a rest for Hamish Douglas while Tom gets injured. There you go, sorted. Yeah, we'll talk about Thursday when we preview Wickham, which will be a very different kind of game, I think. Penalty incident for us, Mick, which again I think is letter of the law. It's a penalty. Martha stays up and tries to get the shot off, but he gets pulled round. Again, I think it's difficult for the referee to see. I've got to give him the benefit of that. I think it's hard for the referee to see from, I assume he's really, really far away. But if he doesn't pull Martha, it's 2-1. Martha scores that.
100%, yeah. And the referee may or may not be able to see it. The line or definitely can. It's a penalty. Whether he goes down or doesn't go down by the letter of the law or not, it's a penalty. He's pulled him back. He's not been able to get his shot off as a result. So he's fouled him. So I'm not moaning and groaning and saying, "Oh God, we should have a penalty," blah, and screaming, shouting. But at the time, I thought, well, that's a penalty. He's pulled him back, and I would argue, if that's a run on down wing or something, that's given. 100%, that's given. Martha, and I don't want to say this. I shouldn't have to say this,
no.
But Martha should have been cuter and gone down. He didn't need to go down because it's still a foul. But unfortunately, it would appear that that's what you have to do. And this again feeds into this bigger problem that I keep banging on about, This is why players go down. This is why players throw themselves to the floor. Because it doesn't matter whether or not you've been fouled, unless you throw yourself to the floor, you're not going to get it. It seems, in general. So, but yeah, it's a penalty for me. We got away with one. They got away with one. 1-1, like I said on post-match. 1-1 in goals, 1-1 in penalty shouts. Let's agree to disagree and go at pub.
Yeah.
Tom Gay says that's exactly why players throw themselves down. You get nothing for honesty.
Yeah.
I assume you're coming from the same point of view, Sam.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't see the poll, but I'll take your all words for it. I think the referee was on the more of the side of telling players to get up a lot as well, weren't he? Maybe that might have influenced the decision of not going down as well. And then the worst thing that could happen was if he did throw himself, I say throw himself to the floor, if he were pulled, but if he went down and the referee's waving it on, any opportunity to have a shot has gone. So that is a counter argument to it. I don't mind the referee was doing that, to be honest, because it's kind of cutting all the diving out of it. But I do get the point of view of he should have gone down to try and at least get the penalty if he was being pulled.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think we would all prefer a player to stay on the feet where possible, and that's what Martha did. Certainly no criticism of the Curaçaoian.
I would just say I'm not criticising referee either for the reasons that Sam's just said there. He didn't take any nonsense. You know, we weren't getting. Neither team were getting stupid free kicks for the slightest little bit of contact. I have no issue with it whatsoever. And if they're going to referee like that, they are going to miss some, like that one, which was definitely a penalty in my view. But he's missed it. I get it. I understand it because and it's a price worth paying. I think for having that sort of allowing the game to flow, which is what he did. So yeah, don't ever say that we're always critical of referees on here.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Right, we're going to finish up on a few other bits, but first of all, please do make sure you subscribe. We had a couple more added to the total, 43-ish we needed to get to 2,000. So please do subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you have subscribed...
End of season. Come on.
Christmas. End of season. Christmas. For Christmas. Please subscribe. If you have already subscribed, always is give the video a like. Give it a like because that helps it helps YouTube realise that we're actually okay at what we do. Okay, not good. Or we shouldn't pat ourselves on that like that. But anyway, we're going to go a bit finish. First of all, headline competition. Quickly becoming a favourite of mine. So we've got 7 headlines this week. It's your job to pick a winner. And then we'll come to what Andrew Barlow's put in the comments as well. So first of all, from LDJ on Twitter, he had 2 goes on this one. He says, injury-ravaged Millers stood like men but couldn't take the biscuit. Now, for anybody that doesn't know, Reading's nickname used to be the Biscuit Men before the Royals.
I like that one.
So,
what a bizarre nickname.
Explain it. You are?
What a bizarre nickname.
Yeah, well, that's why they changed it.
To go from the Biscuit Men to the Royals, that's some upgrade. That to be fair.
He also went for will never beat the Royals, Lord above. I don't know. I didn't get that one, but it's in there. Sorry. Steve Exley goes for Miller's Royal Rumble. Some of these are better written down than out loud because how you say Reading and reading, obviously 2 different words. But Richard Connor goes, Reading between the lines, well-deserved point. Sean goes, let's go that one. Sean goes for Reading can't book a win as the Millers injury list writes its own drama. That's a good one, that.
It's a good piece.
Mark Gamble says, Reading not reading the script with savage strike. It's really good. I like that one. And Nick Newsom, how to move forward without forwards by the Millers.
I tell you what, I hope Paul Davis is listening.
I was just about to say, are we on a recruitment drive advertiser here? What's going on?
All he's going to do is write an article. He don't need to put a headline up. Some of these are fantastic.
Do we have a winner? Oof. I like Sean's. The Reading can't book a win as the Millers injury list writes its own drama.
Yeah, that's my favourite one. Yeah.
I'm a fan of that. I'm not going to lie.
It's a close run thing, but I think that just about edges it.
I think it edges Mark Gamble's the Reading not reading the script with savage strike. I think those are the 2, but I think Sean gets the win.
Yeah, fantastic.
If I knew about the Biscuit Man, I would have understood the first one a bit better.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Mike. Reading was a famous biscuit town for more than 50 years.
Right.
There you go. It's just not a great nickname, is it? Well, some people might say
biscuits are nice, aren't they? We all like biscuits.
Yeah.
True.
Well, some more than others, but
Yeah, there we go. When you every Sunday, I'll put after the game, we'll put that out. So if you've got some good one, make sure you let us know because I really, really enjoyed this little segment we've discussed. Right, we've got a little bit of time, so we're going to talk about the rumor that's going around. Andrew Bala says, "What's everybody's thoughts about the rumors we may be in for Duncan Watmore?" Harry says, "Ever since his argument with a pie, I don't have trust in Nixon, so I don't think we are after him, especially after Hampshire pretty much said we aren't in for anybody with a free in his pre-match." Yeah, I kind of fall into that one really, Sam. I think he's trained with Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday being given permission to sign the striker. Duncan Watmore appears to be the striker. If he's available, I think he's the type of guy you go, yeah, let's try and get him. But I suspect he's waiting out for a championship move, to be honest, because he is a very, very good player.
What was his last team?
Millwall.
Oh, right, okay. How old is he? I don't know much about him, to be honest.
It's 31.
Is it?
We'd be signing him.
Sorry, I'm doing research again. 31.
Yeah, we'd be signing him just if we do, we'd be signing him just before he turns 32.
I thought we were older than that.
To be honest, I'd take him. I'd take most of them, to be honest. And I knew the I wouldn't have expected the Freddie ones to materialise, to be honest. Especially after how he left. And obviously Hampshire and Wood was about, weren't they, when he left. I couldn't have seen that one coming, but we already needed a striker. Like, are we waiting until Hugo's leg falls off or what? I don't know, because we're desperate.
Yeah, we are. Well, the only thing I would say about him is he's not an out-and-out 9. He's not an out-and-out striker. He's more just an attacker, which is what we need. We're no good having attackers. We need a striker at the minute. So that's maybe why it falls down and doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But Tom Case says, I agree. He's a Rotherham-type player, runs line like an absolute nutter. Yeah, he does.
Oh,
he's
guaranteed
a classic
that,
Rotherham United player. He really, really is. I just don't think he'll come down to this level, to be honest with you. But anything to add on that one, Danny?
I mean, I'm never trust Wikipedia, but it's easily accessible for me. Apparently, he's more of a winger, and he's been praised by Jermaine Defoe for his ball control. So if he runs back like an utter and ball control, he could be a nice little addition. I mean, if we get him, but he's not going to take one until end of season, though, is he? I mean, the state Wednesday's in. If they offer him a longer contract, he's going to stay there. With him being on.
I don't think they can though, because of their situation.
They can now sign free agents.
Yeah, but not for like a 4-year contract. They won't be able to commit to a long-term contract is their problem.
Possibly. Cooper, didn't they? Liam Cooper. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it slightly loosens our injury crisis. And if he runs back like a nutter and he's got a bit of ball control to him, he will do a job. But again, Hugo runs through a brick wall. So, like you say, unless his leg falls off, that might be why why this rumour's come about, because it was a bit touch and go with Hugo at one point. But unless his leg falls off, then we persevere and we crack on, like we did in the first injury crisis. Will Hampshire pull the trigger between now and when the January window? Probably not. But we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. But if we sign him, I wouldn't be overly opposed to it. It's just a bit of we must need it, Yeah.
And go on.
Just as a matter of interest, we're being linked to a player that Sheffield Wednesday are interested in by a journalist who's had a very public spat with a Piggy fan.
Yes.
And we'll believe in the journal.
Well, we're not, are we?
No. I mean, come on. He's had a very public spat with some Twitter piggy, and it just gives him an option, doesn't it, to wind him up a bit. Nobody's going to go to Sheffield United. Sheffield United are not bothered. That's their closest rivals. So I'll pick the next closest rivals and we'll link them to them. Oh, look, they might have been talking about free agents anyway. Happy days. I mean, to be fair, if we were to steal him from under nose at Pigs, that would, and not even playing, playing, that'd be beautiful. But that's not going to happen, mate.
No,
we don't need him anyway.
No, he's obviously desperate to get back into the game. If you're willing to kind of go sign for Sheffield Wednesday in the situation they're
You've
in,
got to be desperate.
you've got to be desperate at the minute.
In all seriousness, and that's not a.
That's not a dig at them, no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We've been there. Look at when we tried to sign players in the Championship when we were half relegated. You had to be desperate to come and play for us.
Yeah.
That doesn't sit well with me.
Although one thing that could minutely play into our favour is that he is training, not just fitness training. He is also football training.
True.
But like Scott Kent said, it's going to be a toss up between Watmore and Redmond for Wednesday, depending on who they want to sign. So I'm not saying go out and sign Redmond, but if we want Watmore, he will be more match fit than other free agents who aren't even training at a training base. They're just at home training. So I suppose that is a little positive to put on it. But again, we'll wait and see. It could all be bunkum, like Mick says, and it's just a journey having a spat at Wednesday again. But we'll see.
I also feel like we're so close to January now. We're so close to January. Just wait. You just got to wait.
A lot of matches in December, though, isn't there?
Yeah, but Nombe's going to be back in December.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. He implied after the Blackpool game is how I took it anyway. So if Nombe's back and Hugo get a week's rest, that will hopefully go down by next Saturday. You make do, and in January, get rid of Etete, get rid of Sharif. That frees up some wages. You can kind of buy a proper striker in rather than taking a risk on a Watmore or whoever else.
Or Dele Alli. We offer you Dele Alli.
Why should we sign Dele Alli? Goodness me.
Tony wins on Bandit. You never know.
Yeah. Right, there we go. Rob Dixon asks, where was mine in terms of the headline? Yeah, it was unprintable, sadly, Rob. So,
do you want to put it in our private chat, Matt, or tell us?
It's on Twitter for everybody to see.
Oh, is it? All right.
I'm not sure which newspaper would have printed it, to be honest, but I did enjoy it. Absolutely enjoyed it, but sadly didn't make the cut from the editor. It went wounded. Anything else we want to mention, fellas?
Buy your tickets for Lee McMahon. Get on to see tickets. Do it now before they all sell out. Come on.
I'm very confident that it's in the show notes as well. So if you want the link, just check the show notes. I think I'm pretty certain it's in there. Danny, Sam, anything?
Quickly mention the Rotherham United women's result today against Huddersfield under 23s. They battered them 12-1.
But more important than that is for the first time that they played at the newly named Rotherham Hospice Stadium.
Bang on. Yep. Yep. Rotherham Hospice Community Stadium is the new name for Roundwood, where Parkgate and Rotherham United women's play. They had a big event over the weekend when Parkgate played Sheffield FC, and they have now officially renamed the stadium. So that's a lovely touch to the hospice as well.
Absolutely is.
Yeah.
Absolutely is. Good work by everybody involved. Right. We've got lots of stuff we want to talk about. We'll talk more about Hamish Douglas, Tom Holmes, everything else that comes with it on Thursday. Obviously, we'll get a pre-match presser hopefully by that point, and we can find out if anybody is back for the Wigan game. As mentioned, that's going to be a very, very different game. If you haven't done so already, please do make sure you've subscribed if you haven't done so already. And as if you have subscribed, please give the video a thumbs up as well. If you want a little bit more, you can always go back and watch mine and Mick's instant reaction yesterday, which went on a little bit longer. We hadn't mentioned Dan Gore today, so if you want some Dan Gore chat, go on to yesterday's episode. There's a bit of Dan Gore chat in there. But Dan Gore's good. We will be back on Thursday, as I mentioned. We'll try and get a scout report this time as well for Wycombe Wanderers and everything else. So keep an eye on the socials, Twitter, everything else that comes in YouTube as well. And thank you, Mick. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, everybody, for being with us. We will see you all next time. And as always, up the Millers.
Up the Millers.
Comes for more. 2 for Jensen, 2 for Rotherham. Shoots. Ravel. Vicious. But brilliant. The sweetest feeling for Rotherham United. What's got round the back. And Richard Wood has done it again. It's done. It's Georgie Kelly.
Do me a favor, drop me off in